Yeah, good luck. Now, I'm quite excited about this because it's not often I get to head to talk to someone in my hometown of Barrow in Furness, but we can go there now and talk to the Defence Secretary, Wes Streeting. Good to see you, Wes, and I hope you're enjoying the hospitality of the good people of Barrow. We're talking Dreadnought, the new class of nuclear submarine being built at BAE Systems there. And you're talking about £8.4 billion of investment to get these sea trials going. Where's this money coming from? Is this new money or is this re-announcing investment that was already there?
Well, good morning. Well, this is already fully funded. So at the spending review...
Originals, I'm Emily Carver. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And do leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
And since, through the extra investment won by my predecessor, Dan Jarvis, we've got the programme fully funded. And that's why the Prime Minister and I are here today to announce that new contract and both the capability it will create through the renewal of our nuclear deterrence, but also the jobs, the opportunities that it will provide. As you don't need me to tell you, this is your hometown, but defence is in the blood here in Barrow in Furness, and that speaks both to its great defence industrial history, but it also speaks to the future too, because the apprentices the Prime Minister and I will meet today are able to say proudly and confidently that they are at the forefront of some of the most advanced engineering taking place anywhere in the world. They are building that new generation of nuclear submarines, the bedrock upon which Britain's defence and security sits. And one of the things that the Prime Minister and I are both genuinely excited about is that as we are renewing that nuclear deterrent, as we are rebuilding Britain's defence capability, we're also reindustrialising Britain and providing new opportunities, because as well as the 13,500 jobs here in Barrow that are supported by this programme, when you look right across our investment in the Defence Nuclear Programme, there are thousands of jobs right across the country, including in the supply chain, and 22,000 apprenticeships in the run-up to 2035. And at a time when youth unemployment is far too high, it's great that we're able to play our part as defence, both in terms of keeping our country safe, but also building a country that's worth fighting for in terms of jobs, opportunities and security for people in their own lives, jobs, prospects and opportunities.
Wes, it all sounds wonderful and the numbers involved sound wonderful, but you say it's fully funded. I'm sorry to keep coming back to this. It's fully funded, but is that money that was existing funding, or is it coming from somewhere now? It's fully funded, but from where?
Well, both at the spending review and with the additional investment that was secured by my predecessor, Dan Jarvis, we are spending more on defence. That will continue to be the case. But what we do at spending reviews is set out for the next few years, usually in a spending review, how much we're investing and how we're raising the money. And now it's our job to get that money out of the door. And that's exactly what we're doing. There is a debate, of course, about the medium to long-term defence investment required. The Prime Minister, the Chancellor and I will be working together on that. And you'll remember what John Healey said as he left the last government over the issue of defence spendings, where that's very much in mind. But I just want to emphasise that we've also got a great opportunity in front of us right now and a lot to go at in terms of the new investment that we have available and the capability we can buy. So as well as the big announcement today in terms of our nuclear deterrent.
It is the classic British political dilemma, trying to deliver maximum strength on a strictly managed budget. Streeting insists that before asking the Treasury for a single extra penny, the Ministry of Defence must fix its historic procurement headaches and deliver real value for money. It is a pragmatic line, no doubt, but one that leaves military strategists asking whether efficiency savings can truly replace hard capital in an increasingly unstable landscape. Then the conversation turns to the sea, where security policy meets human reality. While the government points to a reported 40% drop in small boat arrivals and tens of thousands of prevented crossings through joint efforts with France, public scepticism remains sharp. Migration is not merely a policy metric. It sits at the intersection of economic stability, social infrastructure, and national confidence. And when questions arise about potential security vulnerabilities along maritime routes, the official response turns noticeably delicate.
Last week, we announced £700 million of investment in a new generation of combat fighter aircraft, £400 million in spy drones. And those two programmes are creating jobs not just here in the northwest of England, but in Wales, in the southwest of England. So defence has got a lot to offer the Prime Minister's agenda around reindustrialisation and opportunities for the next generation.
In terms of those longer term strategies, and whether you can confirm it or not, but there's like talk of 3.5% of GDP by 2035. I mean, those sort of figures. When are we going to get decisions and announcements on this? Because really, you should be pushing against an open door with John Healey, shouldn't you, to get more money?
We are, but we're not complacent about two things. One is, I've got to demonstrate, before I ask for even more money from John Healey as Chancellor, the money that we're already spending is being well spent. And one of the reasons the Prime Minister's asked me to undertake this role in responsibility is when I was the Health Secretary, this is the approach I took there. So we had new money for health, which is delivering improved performance and falling waiting lists. But at the same time, I was also going after the NHS's classic problems of overspending. We balanced the books for the first time in a decade. Some of the productivity challenges, which can sound quite abstract in a conversation like this, but that's about making sure the money that goes in gets maximum bang for the buck. So I'm doing a similar approach here at the Ministry of Defence, tackling some of the historic challenges around procurement, value for money, doing what we say, when we say it, and making sure we keep to time. So getting to grips with all of those challenges. The second thing I'd say, because there's obviously, you're right, they've got that NATO commitment, 3.5% by 2035. There's been the debate, obviously, about 2030. The reason why in interviews today and in recent days, I and colleagues might sound like we're dancing on the head of a pin a bit about this, is before you set out a specific spending commitment, you also have to show how it will be paid for. And if you fail to do that, then our bond markets from whom we borrow to invest, they react. The cost of borrowing goes up. And so instead of investing in defence or in our public services or in helping people with the cost of living, you're instead throwing good money away on higher interest charges. So that's why you in recent days and today, and indeed up to the budget and the spending review, you're not going to be able to tempt me or my colleagues in the cabinet to make unfunded spending commitments. Because that's how you end up hiking up borrowing costs, and we don't need those sorts of avoidable mistakes.
When asked point blank whether state actors or hostile entities could exploit small boat channels to bypass border controls, the government line understandably pivots to emphasising the elite reputation of Britain's intelligence services. We are reminded of the silent, around-the-clock work of domestic and international security agencies who operate far beyond the public gaze. It is a reassuring sentiment, and Britain's intelligence community is undeniably world-class. Yet refusing to give absolute guarantees highlights the complex reality of modern border management. No government can promise total immunity, but attempting to manage public perception while maintaining rigorous security is a tightrope walk of the highest order. What we are witnessing is a government attempting to balance financial discipline with heavy industrial ambition and robust border management. Whether this strategy will hold under scrutiny or crumble under economic pressures remains the central question facing Whitehall. If you value standard, in-depth political commentary that skips the fluff, please take a quick breath, hit that subscribe button, and join our growing community here at Britain Underneath. Subscribing genuinely helps support independent analysis and ensures you stay informed on the issues that truly matter. Thank you for watching all the way through. Stay sharp, stay informed, and make sure to return for our next deep dive into the heart of British power.
Wes, talking of throwing money away, we have over, a period of time now handed the French over, £1 billion to stop the boats. They're still coming. It's been described as an invasion by Donald Trump. He's right, isn't he? It is an invasion.
Well, I think the good news is that in terms of small boat crossings, which we absolutely agree is a big challenge, we've seen a 40% reduction in those crossings, and our work with the French has managed to stop 46,000 individual crossings. Now, if the Home Secretary were here this morning, she'd be the first to say that's a lot done, but there's a lot more to do and a lot more to go at. And that's why she'll continue to do that, as well as strengthening our laws to try and tackle some of the pull factors that encourage people to come to Britain and take those small boat crossings. That's at the heart of what her immigration reform is about, and she'll continue to do that. But those are encouraging numbers. And I think if I'd come on GB News a couple of years ago, maybe just before the general election, and said Labour would get small boat crossings down by 40%, that would be stopping tens of thousands of individual crossings, I think your viewers would have thought, they're saying that now, will they actually deliver? So this is encouraging progress, but I do want to put it in those terms, encouraging progress. There is more to do, and we obviously accept that, and we will do more to tackle this scourge.
It is a major issue for a lot of people in this country, and it's overarching, isn't it? It affects everything from our economy to our health system to schools and everything else, housing, you name it. Do you think the Prime Minister should be addressing this head on? He's not really mentioned it at all yet, and that's slightly concerning, isn't it?
But to be fair to the Prime Minister, give him time. He's been in for a week and a half now, and in that period, he has both hit the ground running very rapidly with a series of cost of living measures. And as he's done so, whether on energy bills or bus fares, he's been at pains to point out he knows there's more to do. It hasn't solved all the problems, but it does signal both intent and that he will go as fast as he can to help people with the cost of living. And then this week, with that big speech on social care yesterday, and some of the other big visions he set out this week. Today, he'll be talking to us about defence and reindustrialisation and apprenticeships. He's showing that he runs towards big challenges facing the country, whether it's the 1 million young people out of education, employment or training, whether it's the failure of successive governments to really grip the crisis in social care, and indeed on border security. Look, I think, to be honest, the big signal from the Prime Minister on this was when he kept Shabana Mahmood in post as Home Secretary. Everyone knows Shabana now. She is a no-nonsense woman.
Yes.
She is absolutely determined to deal with this problem. She's got some good results under her belt already, and she's determined to get the job done.
Okay.
And I thought that was in itself a very important statement of intent from the Prime Minister. He could have made different choices and put someone else in there who maybe has sort of said, is Shabana being too tough?
Wes, sorry to interrupt. We are running out of time.
Wes Streeting's defence gridlock, nuclear millions, small boats, and the security question Whitehall won't answer. Behind the glossy announcements and polished Whitehall press releases, Britain's defence and security apparatus is facing a series of uncomfortable questions. Welcome back to Britain Underneath, where we peel back the respectable veneer of British politics to examine the real machinery driving the nation. Before we dive into the deep end of today's scrutiny, do take a moment to subscribe to Britain Underneath and hit that notification bell. Your support helps us keep bringing you sharp, unfiltered analysis of the stories shaping our realm. Today, we are taking a closer look at Defence Secretary Wes Streeting, who recently found himself navigating a grilling on national television regarding nuclear investment, defence budgets and border security. Standing on home turf in Barrow-in-Furness, Streeting was keen to champion an eye-watering £8.4 billion commitment into the Dreadnought nuclear submarine programme. It is a staggering figure, designed to project strength, re-industrialise former manufacturing hubs, and secure thousands of skilled apprenticeships through 2035. On paper, it sounds like a masterclass in statecraft and economic revival. But ask the fundamental question of where this money originates, and the political dancing begins.
Well, sorry to interrupt, we are running out of time. This week, just quickly and briefly, we've had Iran boasting about how they're using those channel crossings to smuggle agents across the channel into this country to do us severe harm. Can you guarantee our viewers that there haven't been any terrorists coming across in those small boats?
So two things. Firstly, we do have strong measures in place to assess people coming into the country to guard against that threat. Secondly, while we're not complacent about that risk, I would also just guard against repeating Iranian propaganda. And they're good at what they do in terms of their propaganda effort. We see that online. They want to increase that fear. So I'm not going to repeat Iranian talking points. We do have strong measures at the border.
So you can't guarantee it, basically, can you?
We absolutely have strong, robust measures at the border to guard against that threat. And let me say, in terms of first impressions in this job, in my first week and a half in this role as Defence Secretary, I've had a unique insight into the capability that we have, both in terms of our domestic and international security services. They are second to none.
But Wes, you can't guarantee that terrorists aren't crossing the channel, can you?
We have strong, as I say, we've got strong border measures, but we also have strong domestic homeland security services, and we have the SIS too. And we honestly, I wish I could show the public more of what we have in terms of our security and intelligence services. They are genuinely the best in the business. They keep our country safe 24/7, 365 days a year, and their success often goes uncelebrated, unreported because of the secret nature of their work.
Of course, Wes. We'll just take that as a no, you can't guarantee it then.
You can have total confidence that they are tasked in the right way to guard against threats from Iran and other malevolent countries that would do us harm, as well as domestic terrorism.
When pressed on whether this vast sum represents genuine new funding or simply recycled cash from previous budgets, the official narrative gets remarkably slippery. Streeting maintains the programme is fully funded through existing spending review allocations. Yet this comes at a time when military leaders and former defence ministers have openly voiced concern that Britain's defence trajectory is falling short of what a volatile world demands. With discussions swirling around meeting a target of 3.5% of gross domestic product by 2035, Whitehall appears trapped between the desire to project global military clout and the absolute terror of rattling the bond markets with unfunded commitments.